I found this quote that said, follow your bliss. And I was like, what is my bliss? What do I do that makes me happy all the time? And I was like, oh, it's songwriting. You just got to do it scared. You just got to do it.
Scared, y'all.
Yeah,
That's
do
good.
it scared.
That
is my advice. You just got to do it scared.
Yeah.
If it's something that you want and you can't sleep, you can't go through your day without thinking about it, you have to do it. I think you can be any age and make the best art that you could possibly make.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Every Day is a Yay! Woo! Today, I am with the iconic, multi-hyphenate creative, Ranika! Ranika, tell us more about yourself.
Hi, thanks so much for having me, first off. Like, this show, there's already so much good energy here. Like, it's amazing. Yeah. I am Ranika. I am a multi-hyphenate artist. I do tons of things. I'm a singer, songwriter, audio engineer, painter, visualizer person. Anything that's artistic, I've probably done it.
Period. Oh, well, we're so excited to have
Thank
you. Yes. So today we're going to be talking what it means to return to self. But before we do it, drum roll, please. We have the Doublet of Smile!
I'm excited for this.
Yes. So as you know, you're going to pick a fun question, and the goal is for it to make you smile, as well as our audience. So pick a question. Any question?
Oh, I hope I get a good one. I want to get a juicy one.
Let's see. Let's see. I don't know which all these are.
I know. Wait, hold on. Let me feel it out.
Feel it.
I think it's this one.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Aw, what song brings back childhood memories?
Aww.
A song immediately came to my head, which is funny, but it's Baby It's You by JoJo and Bow Wow. Like, that song in that video, like when they're in the amusement park, there's something about that, like, 2004, 2005 era of music.
Yeah.
That just makes me feel like, like childhood, or at least like the good parts.
That's okay. So mine is kind of around that same era, and also I'm just like I'm just thinking about this song.
Baby, it's you. Yeah,
like JoJo is just amazing. Okay, mine's a combo. Remember "Down" by Jay Sean?
Baby, are you
down, 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 even when the sky is falling down. And then remember, they're like down, like she goes to me. She gets down. Oh, okay, well, you know. Anyway.
Yeah.
But it's just like with Baby It's You, where it's like it takes you back to the early 2000s. Yeah. And I remember, did you ever have like those middle school or high school like dances, like where I grew up in the suburbs, so we had like those gym dances. Aww. like it wasn't like homecoming. It was okay, maybe it was a time. It was like cringe era, but it was like actually really fun.
Yeah. No, that time was super transitional for me. And I feel like that's why that came up. Like I moved childhood homes around that time. And I think I was probably like in the 3rd grade, which is where I feel like things start to like grow and you start to know things more. That's where it takes me back to.
Yeah, shout out to JoJo. Like,
I love JoJo.
She's amazing.
Yeah, vocal wise, she's one of the people that she influences me. Her songwriting, like when she was in her mixtape days, that was the JoJo where I was like, ooh, like I think I want to sing. She's one of the people. Yeah.
Okay, look, I'm excited for us to dive into it.
Yeah,
okay.
Me too.
Look, so like, what does it mean to you to like return to self?
Returning to self. When I think about that, I think about returning to my truest form. And for me personally, that is returning to being a creative person.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I was like super creative. I was doing like performances and I was painting. I had like a little mini business where I was selling earrings and drawings.
Wait, stop!
I forgot about that. I don't know why I just thought about that randomly.
Wow.
But yeah, I would do all kinds of things like that.
Yeah.
And like the older I get, I feel like the more you go through life, somehow like you kind of get pushed out into this world that's like more gray and more like do things this way and be this way. And now I feel like returning to myself is returning back to that unique, authentic place of I'm a creator and the things that I can do in this world are limitless and not limited. I've been limited.
Period.
So returning to myself is returning to me, the creator, who creates what she wants, when she wants, how she wants. Period. And
I relate to that because, you know, I heard that when you are living in your purpose, you tend to end up going back to what you wanted when you were a child.
Yep.
You know, and that's kind of like I've always been a talker and wanted to like have fun with people like this. And so I feel like I'm returning to myself.
Absolutely.
So like you were talking about, okay, you were painting. Now you're transitioning to being a musician, but you also like do all these other creative things. Like tell me more.
So I originally, like when I was younger, I first started off into drawing. That was the very first artistic thing that I did. I drew people.
Oh, you drew people?
Yeah, I would watch like the Maury show and like Jerry Springer.
Are you serious, girl?
And I would draw the characters or the people that would like the guests on the show. I would draw them. So
like their reactions? Like,
no, I would just draw them. I would just draw them. Like I would just draw their faces.
Like the audience members.
Like the guests on the show.
Oh, the guests.
Yeah.
This is so crazy. My mind is going so many places. Okay, keep going. Tell me more.
I originally was like into drawing and that kind of stuff, and I kind of like stumbled my way into songwriting. Okay. It started off as something like I got these, you know, Bratz dolls.
Yeah. Okay, Bratz dolls.
I got, you know how they
Bratz
would have.
are better than Polly Pockets.
They are 100%. Exactly. Although I did have Polly Pockets. Those were cute.
I know.
But I got Bratz dolls. And you know how they had like their little songs and sometimes they would come with their little CDs. Yeah. I would listen to that and be like, like I want to do this. So I like wrote, that was my first song. It was like, Bratz, we have the passion for fashion. That was my first song. And I just kind of let that go until years later, I was like going through my first little like baby little heartbreak as a preteen or teenager or whatever.
I feel that. Yeah.
And my instinct was, let me put my feelings in a song. It was never like, let me journal or let me talk to someone. It was, let me make this into a song. And that's just what I did. It just became normal. Like instead of diaries, I would write songs. And I wouldn't write them to beats. I would just write them and I would hear them in my head and I just write them out.
Wow.
And all this whole time I'm like going to school for art. Like literally going to school to learn how to paint and all these things. Until one day I realized, I was like, wait a minute, like I've written like 300 songs.
Wait, stop. 300 songs. So you just have been passively writing 300. That's how you, that's a gift.
Yeah. And I didn't think anything of it. It was just how I expressed myself.
Wow.
And that transition to me kind of sitting, like I was gearing towards the end of high school and I'm like, what do I want? Like what makes me happy? Everybody's doing college like admissions and all this stuff. I'm like, what do I want? And I was like, what is my bliss? I found this quote that said, follow your bliss. And I was like, what is my bliss? What do I do that makes me happy all the time? And I was like, oh, it's songwriting.
Wow.
And that's when I was like, oh, I want to be a songwriter. And at this point I still hadn't decided like I want to sing my own songs. I was like, oh, I just want to be in music. And that's how that transition started. And painting kind of faded out for me. Like I did turn it into a business for a second where I was portrait painting for people for money.
Wow.
But it just didn't bring me the same fulfillment that music did.
It's like you knew that music was really your calling. Yeah. But it seemed like painting was a way for you to kind of express that in a way. That's okay. That's so interesting. Yeah. So like in terms of like with your pieces, like what, I know it's like a diary to you.
Yes.
Like what has like kind of moved you the most in your process, or what have you learned about yourself as you're writing your music?
That I am dramatic as hell.
That's okay. Team drama.
That I have a lot of feelings.
That's okay.
That I'm very emotional. And that's how they would come out through song. But it was a great way to help me process and be like, oh, this is how I feel. Yeah. And it wouldn't always be like about a boy. Like sometimes I'd just be like upset that day. Like, well, I was late to school, and I would turn it into a song. I would see a word that I liked, and I'd be like, oh, let me make that into a song. How can I turn this into something else? How can I create from here?
So, like, in your process of writing, right, that's something where you also are kind of solitude while you're, like, in your space. How do you go from, like, being in solitude creating to, like, getting on stage and performing? You said that's how you started performing when you were young. Like, how is it, like, trying to go back into that?
Honestly, it is a little bit intimidating going back into performing. Because when I was younger, I feel like I just wasn't as conscious of the, like, people's opinions, or conscious of, like, it wasn't as serious for me back then. It was kind of just something that I did. I was like, oh, this is just fun. But now it's more so coming from a place of, like, this is me. Like, when I get on a stage, like, it's me. It's my music now. Like, I'm not just dancing to someone else's track, or, like, singing some other person's song.
It's like, it's
coming
me.
from me.
Wow.
Yeah. And I still consider myself, like, a baby fetus performer. I'm still getting out there.
That's okay. It's part of the journey. And I think that's important to bring up, because I think what is great to learn from you is that it's never too late to start. You just have to get started.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I feel like with performing, like, going from a place of solitude to not solitude, it started with me going to open mics and just seeing other people my age doing it and getting up there. And I never really also got up there. I kind of just felt it out for a little bit for a few years and just took that energy in. And that's when I was like, oh, well, I think I could do this. Okay. And that's how it developed from me, like, being alone to seeing other people creative, being around other creative people at open mics and the open mic scene. That led me.
That got you comfortable. Okay. Taking notes, folks. Taking notes. So I want to pivot, because I know you're a big Marvel fan, okay? Yeah. I have a question when it comes to the X-Men, because, you know, girl, you rocking it, okay? Yeah. What would be your favorite X-Men character?
Honestly, I like Storm, I like Jean, and I like Wolverine. Okay.
Tell me more. And I can share mine, too. I'm on the same page with Jean.
Yes.
Because
she's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I also like Professor X, too. But, yeah. Tell me more.
Well, with Jean, I will say she's just, like, super powerful. Yeah. I love that about her. And I also feel like if I were to have a superpower, I'd want to move things with my mind. Yeah. So that's why I go to her. And with Storm, I just feel like, hello.
like I was just saying, give me Storm. Don't we love it?
Yeah, like she definitely did influence, like, the silver hair. Yeah. I really love that she's also super powerful, like controlling the weather. Like, what? Exactly. And I also took, like, me having silver hair as a metaphor for all the things that I've been going through. Like, I say that I've been through, like, a storm of emotions. So I wanted to embrace the storm, become the storm, control the storm. Like, I am the storm. Period. You know?
Because then you own it, you can move through it. Yeah. And you don't let it impact you.
Okay. And I am big on owning the things about myself that I don't particularly like, that I need to better. I'm always open to evolving. How can I better myself? How can I learn more about myself? That's very important to me. Yeah. And I'm just gonna go back into Wolverine.
Yeah, tell me more about Wolverine.
The reason I like the reason I like Wolverine is I love his healing power. Like, he goes through something. Yeah. He goes through something and immediately just, like, he's recovering from it. Yeah. And I also feel like that's super symbolic of where I am right now, too, in life, is I'm watching myself, like, recover. My skin's coming back. Wow. My wounds are healing.
You know, okay, I don't know how much I have to add to that outside of Professor X. Doesn't Professor X move things with his mind, too?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was, like,
He's
saying.
Like Jean times 10.
Exactly. Yeah. Him versus Magneto, look, let me tell you, The Last Stand, that was a lot. So, okay, you were talking about Wolverine, which he is fine. But, like, also specifically, like, his healing powers, right? I would love to take that back to your journey. What are the things you've had to work through to really be like, hey, I want to go for music?
Absolutely. The number one thing is lack mindset.
Lack mindset.
Yeah, just not feeling like certain things were possible, especially with something like music. Pursuing music is so wishy-washy. I mean, if you come from a certain background, maybe not, but coming from like my kind of background, having that kind of big aspiration of being basically a superstar and like surviving off of your talent, it just seems so unheard of. Like, what do you mean you're gonna write songs and be a performer? Like, you need to go get a job, a 9-to-5. You need to survive. You need to support yourself. So I feel that. I've had to work through that of realizing that my passion was something that was realistic for me to pursue, even if it's not something that makes me rich in like money. It's something that makes me rich inside.
In your soul.
And that's what matters to me, is that fulfillment within myself. And getting to a place of realizing that what keeps me more in that lack mindset is not fulfilling my purpose and not necessarily not fulfilling a certain tax bracket. Yeah.
It's like connecting to your higher self.
Yes.
See, so, and you know what? I feel like another thing is like, again, that transition to like also when you're doing open mics too, right? Where like, how do you just get the courage to perform and be in front of people after seeing everyone else perform? Like, for anyone that like has that stage fright, do you get stage fright?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I just got to the point where I realized, like, you just got to do it scared. You just got to do it.
Do it scared, y'all.
Yeah, do it scared. That is my advice. You just got to do it scared. Yeah. If it's something that you want and you can't sleep, you can't go through your day without thinking about it, you have to do it. And I feel like the things that scare you the most in life are like right behind those doors is everything you ever wanted. Yeah. Behind those doors of fear is what you want. And that journey,
y'all remember this, okay?
And that journey of like getting past the fears and getting past the things that hold me back is like one of the things that I kind of go through in the project that I'm working on right now. It's called Next.
Okay, Next.
Yes, and I called it Next because it's very symbolic on me shedding this part of myself, or that part of myself that was more afraid, that part of myself that was more in her shadow, that part of myself that was more in her ego. This project, not directly, but it takes you, like, if you kind of read between the lines of the lyrics, it takes you through a journey of who I was to who I'm now becoming. Like, who is in this next evolution of life? Like, who is Ranika in this next evolution? And also because
this next evolution,
exactly,
I'm just loving it goes back to connecting to your higher self. Okay, next,
exactly. And also because I feel like I am one of the next people that you need to look out for.
Okay. Okay. Remember, Ranika.
Absolutely. And also with this project, I wrote the entire thing. Yes. I'm mixing the entire thing. I did some producing on it. And with this project, I also want to show the people that are coming up behind me, like the bedroom producers and the bedroom recording artists. Yes. I started off as a bedroom recording artist, like teaching myself how to record myself, how to mix, how to master. I want to be able to show, like, this is what came out of me taking this into my own hands. Like,
I love that.
I have had, like, help with, like, certain producers, but the bulk of the project is me taking the reins and controlling, like, what is the story that I'm telling? Even like sonically, like how does this sound? Yeah. It's coming from me. And I want to be able to show people that look like me, like, this is the art that you can create
on your own.
On your own. Yeah.
Wow. I'm just loving this because, like, I'm in a phase where I want to transition into in addition to this, because I love every day's yay. So, add some yay to it, you know what I'm saying? But, like, you're just very inspiring to show, like, yeah, you can do it on your own. Like, obviously, it's great to collab, but, like, I like the idea of, like, being, like, that bedroom producer, because, honestly, I feel like money is a gatekeeper in the music industry. Yeah. Not everyone's got it. Like, you need money to work with this person. You need money to get this equipment. You need money to do this. Yeah. So, like, I just really am glad that you are being that representation to show people, like, yo, I can do this.
Oh, yeah. I'm quick to be like, oh, I don't have enough money, but how can I figure out how to do it?
Exactly.
Like, how can I do it the cheap way.
Exactly.
How can I get on the internet real quick and learn something for myself? Like, how can I do what I can do on my own? Like, the other stuff will come later. I've realized, like, a lot of the time you really just have to take that first step. You don't need to see the full staircase. You just need to start moving, going up.
Like you said, do it scared.
Do it scared.
Do it scared. I'm like, that's what I'm saying. I'm taking that note. Or like, okay, if it scares me, let's go.
Well, you shouldn't
dive in.
You shouldn't be like shaking to your boots, like ready to run for your life, though. Like, not that scared. Don't be that scared.
No, I need to dive in. This was a dive in. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But like, obviously within reason, right?
Yes,
we're not trying to say like, if there's something bad and you're scared to do it, like you probably shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
We just want to clarify it for audiences. Be safe out there.
Take caution.
Period. So what are your hopes like for, I think in general, when you think about the music industry and you're seeing all these artists come up, like what are the trends that you're seeing that you do like? What are the things you kind of think should change? Like, I'd love your take on that.
I really love that R&B is coming back to the forefront.
Yeah. Who's your favorite R&B artist?
Ooh.
Or top?
Ooh.
I know.
I'm going to go Brandy, Mariah Carey. Like R&B, probably Brandy and Mariah Carey are like at the top. And then like
Okay,
I'll mix a little bit of Aaliyah in there too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any new artists?
No.
You don't like Mooney Long?
Who?
Mooney Long?
Oh, I'm like a fan of hers, but like I don't listen to her that often.
I'm
very much so like an old kind of soul. I will go straight back to the 90s and 2000s playlist.
I mean, they were the greats, okay? Brandy can go. Mariah Carey, like, come on, yes.
Yeah, like
they're amazing.
I study Brandy's vocals. I study Mariah Carey's songwriting.
Yeah.
So I always go back to them. And a lot of the time I find myself not really wanting to necessarily be influenced by what's going on right now.
Okay.
Because I know, like, eventually I want the artists out today to be my peers. And I don't want to start emulating someone that I'm probably going to be like in the same market with. I want to make sure that I keep the essence of like what's always inspired me, which was like that 90s R&B sound.
Yeah. I'm like that you brought that up, but I think it's good inspiration for folks to be like, how do you make sure you're staying unique into yourself in this industry? So like also just thinking about like when and how you go into this journey, like people have this perception that you have to start music like when you're in your teens. Like I'm thinking about like the Billie Eilishes, but that's not true. Like what's your take on that?
I think you can be any age and make the best art that you could possibly make. I personally feel like there was no better time for me to pursue music and the way I'm pursuing it than right now. I feel like a younger version of me not only didn't have enough experience, but she also wasn't clear on like where I wanted to go sonically, where I wanted to go like image wise. I feel like your time is your time. No matter what age that is. Like I feel like it's so easy to get caught up in like all the teenagers that are like popping. Everybody's getting so popular and famous at like younger ages. Like Olivia Rodrigo,
like
yeah, but I feel like that was probably just their time. But I feel like your time is your time, and you know when it's time for you to step out. Yeah, and that's a lot of what I'm feeling right now. It's time for me to step out, and I don't think any other time would have been better than right now.
You feel like right now you're connected to your higher self?
Absolutely. I feel like right now I have a clear idea, clear vision of what I want to say, how I want to say it, what I want to portray. And also, I do want to be an inspiration for people who look like me, or even just anyone who's inspired by me coming up and wanting to do the same thing. Because I was held back by myself for a very long time, and I know what that feels like and what that's like. So I wanted to make sure that when I put myself in front of people, that I actually had something to say, that I actually had guidance and a vision that I could share. I don't want to be like one of the people that comes out and it's just like, all right, kids, like, go, like, rob your granddaddy or something. I don't know. I don't know.
They do go to school.
I don't know.
I'm so glad. I'm just so glad you said that, right?
Yeah.
Your time is your time. And one thing I kind of heard through that is the importance about how time brings you clarity.
Absolutely. Oof.
You know that time and clarity, it's like that clarity to return to self. But what is self, right?
What is self? Yeah.
How are you going back to like, hey, this is what I originally loved.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you're embracing like this is the right timing, and like, I'm just saying like you're inspiring me too right now, because I feel that that's been a thing for me right now in my life too, where I'm like, okay, I just have to trust the timing and I have to go at the pace that I want to go at. So
absolutely. And someone told me recently, a lot of people, like if you think of it as being at a crossroads, a lot of people, like they won't choose a path. They'll kind of just stay in the middle of those paths, because it's like, well, what if I take this route?
Yeah.
What if I do this, or what if I take this route? And it's like, you really won't know until you make a decision and stick to it.
I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah.
Because an indecision is worse than no decision.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, sometimes you just need to take the first step. And sometimes that first step is trusting that what you desire is actually something you can make happen for yourself. And actually trusting that what you desire will provide something for you. Like you have that in you for a reason. You keep returning to certain ideas for a reason. Yeah, and you're going to keep returning to those ideas until they come out of you.
Exactly.
They're going to drive you crazy. They will.
Period.
From experience. If you don't get those things out, they will just keep
coming. And they're going to force you to make a decision.
Yeah.
So like you said, you got to own it. You got to own it.
Own it. That's also a great piece of advice. Yeah. Own it.
Exactly.
Like whatever you feel like you are meant to do, whatever desire you have, own it. If that's what you feel like you're meant to be, own it. A lot of the time you just need confidence. Like, do you see like all these people out here doing crazy things, but they're doing it with confidence, though.
They're doing it with confidence. Because, girl,
a lot of the time, confidence will get you far.
Period.
Yeah.
Did you always have this confidence, or what has been a great tool for you to like build this?
I've not always had this confidence.
I feel that.
I will say with practice and time and repetition, and more specifically, I'll say like, let's say with singing. Yeah. With my voice. Yeah. I did not feel that I was a singer, or I didn't like my voice for a very long time.
Oh, I feel, girl, let's get
And that's why I started off as a songwriter, and I was like, you know what, like, I'll just be in the background, like, I'll just be back here. I could write a good song. And then I was like, you know, I want people to hear these songs, and I couldn't find a singer, so I was like, well, let me just do it. Yeah. And that's how I got into singing, and I would play things for people, and they're like, this is you? Exactly. I'm like, yeah.
Y'all need to listen to her music. Like, yeah. Good.
Listen to my music, Ranika, on all music platforms, Ranika. I do have a bunch of music out. My last single, Feeling You, is out right now, and it's so good. It has a saxophone in it. I like to say that because that's my favorite part of the song. And I describe it as like a futuristic soul song. Like futuristic soul mixed with a little bit of 90s and Timbaland flair. That's what it is.
And the Timbaland flair.
Yeah. I originally like did not think anything of my voice until I kept doing it more and more, and I started to get more comfortable with, I started to feel my voice. Yeah. Because, you know, like...
when you feel your voice.
Yeah, because I'd be listening to certain artists, and I'd be trying to, like, sound like them.
Oh, yeah.
And that was my mistake. I'm like, oh, I don't sound like this. I can't do what they do. Yeah. But it's like, it's because I'm supposed to do what I do.
Oh. Y'all.
Yeah.
I just want to say, especially for all the folks that do want to be musicians, want to sing, like, what you're saying is so empowering, inspiring. It's inspiring me, where it's like, you really just got to do what's for you.
Yes. Run your own race.
Run your own race.
Yeah. Like, everybody has their own lane, and I think that's where I kind of got caught up as well. It's like, oh, I'm not exactly like this. Yeah. I'm not exactly like that. But it's like, because I have my own that I'm meant to create. Exactly. And with time, with repetition, with doing it over and over, that's how I got more comfortable and confident. That's when I was able to be like, okay, this is a Ranika thing that only Ranika can do.
Exactly.
And I have no choice but to be confident in that, because there's only one me.
Period.
I can only do me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Period.
Period.
Give it up for Ranika. Woo! All right. So I guess my question to you is, what advice do you have to our viewers that are trying to return to themselves and also just in general try to get into this industry?
Mm-hmm. First piece of advice would be take some time to yourself. Take some time in solitude to really listen to that inner voice.
Yeah.
Listen to yourself without the distractions of other people, because that's also important. Is figuring out what you want and what you truly want.
Yeah.
Why you want it. Like, do you want it because it's something that you can't like live without doing, or do you want it because it's something you see other people doing it? Like, why do you want it? That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people can sniff out inauthentic behavior in that kind of way, and that's why like sometimes just things don't work. And I feel like for me that was a thing where I was just not authentic. And my other piece of advice would be to take things into your own hands as much as you can. Don't wait for anyone to come and help you. Like, that will come, but don't let that be the reason why you don't start. Do what you can.
Don't wait, y'all.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how much time you'll get. I feel like that's a big thing, right? It's like, how do you maximize every day? Okay. How do you maximize every day to really go after your dreams? So, well, that's a good segue into how do you make every day a yay?
Well, I am still in the process of figuring out how to make every day a yay. Right now, I'm kind of like mastered making it a ya.
Okay, a ya. We'll take a ya.
It's a ya.
We'll take a ya.
But I am working on mindset. Like, mindset is so important. You have to wake up every day with the intention of, today's going to be a good day. I'm going to look at whatever happens to me as this is getting me where I need to be.
Exactly.
Definitely mindset. It does play a huge role in your mood. It plays a huge role in what you attract to yourself. So just trying to stay as positive as I can and not look at setbacks as setbacks, but setups.
Not setbacks,
But
set-ups. Man, like, all the gems. Period. Okay, well, how can we support you?
You can support me by streaming my music right now, which is, like I said, on any streaming platform that you want to check out. I have 2 EPs out. Scorpio A-side, Scorpio B-side. My last single, Feeling You, is out. And you can also follow me on social media. You can follow me on Instagram, which is official Ranika, and have updates on my project that's going to be coming out a little bit later this year. Next single, hopefully in the next couple of months. But I am going to be posting about the process of me recording this project.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, like people are going to see me like in my little studio apartment at my desk, putting like mixing, recording, and that's a huge part of this for me, is showing the journey to it, because that's my favorite part of creating, is the process of creating and being in my little studio, just like my little like lab.
And just
creating
lab.
my little lab.
Oh, well, we'll be tuning in. Give it up again for Ranika.
Thank
you. Yay! Well, thank you all so much for tuning in to another episode of Every Day's Yay. And remember, you have the power to make every day a yay! Woo!